There is a show on Netflix called Escaping Twin Flames, and it's a documentary about this. I guess it's a cult, and it's kind of I don't know if it's really religious. It's more about they started out as like trying to help people find their twin flame. Like the short version of it is your twin flame is like your soulmate, basically, right? And it's an incredible, the documentary, it's 3 episodes long, so it's not like you don't have to put a bunch of time into it. But I found it incredibly interesting from a marketing perspective. Now it's a guy and his wife, like basically run this, I forget the name of they've got names of their little organization and all this stuff. And by all accounts, they've been very successful. And that's not a great thing. But when you look at it from a marketing perspective, what they did was really interesting. And I started noticing this. I think it was in the first episode or the second episode where people would be going through a hard time in their life and they would type in like, I need to find a soulmate, or I need to find, somebody that they were looking for a partner of some sort. And these twin flames people were so smart in the way they marketed themselves that they must have been, and they never talked about this on the documentary, but that's the only way that this would have happened, was that these people were every single one of the people that were in this cult, like the cult members that got out. It's called Escaping Twin Flames. So it's a handful of people that have like gotten out of it, and they talk about their experience with it. But they all came into contact with it. Most of them, some of them were brought in by a person, but most of them, it was like through a Google search or a Facebook search or whatever, which, hello, these people were buying ads. They were buying AdWords. They were searching things that they knew that their people were looking for. And that's how they got people into their spider web. And as creepy and weirdo as this couple is that runs this thing, their marketing strategy was really on point. And I got a clip from this show that I'm going to play, and then I'm going to dive into a little bit more of it here. Let me see if I can pull this up right there. That's right there. There that is. And I'm going to do this and check this out.
This week I'm targeting sexual assault, sexual harassment programs and opportunities.
We had a meeting one day about how to fish for clients for map sessions. We were going in PTSD groups, injury groups, fibromyalgia groups.
The internet is a place teeming with people with problems. And if you walk up with a solution, oh honey, people are lined up out your door.
Okay, so that was a really short clip from that show. But one of the things they touched on, besides all the fact that these people were just basically, the fact that these people were essentially Google searching, certain terms, what they talk about there is something that's actually really smart. And what I want to talk about is, as much as they seem, from one man's opinion, they seem very creepy and weird. But one thing that is a really smart thing to do, and it's something that everybody can do out of the gate, and it's often overlooked because we're focused on content. Oh, we got to create content. We got to build a personal brand, this, that, and the other thing. And I had talked about it in one of the episodes before. I had talked about engagement and getting in and, becoming part of a community of people that are, people that are prospective clients for you, bringing value to people wherever they are, right? So if they're on LinkedIn and you see a comment, or if they're on Twitter and there's or X, whatever you're calling it, if there is a thread about something that you specialize in, setting up notifications on your phone. This is something that I've told other clients to do. So again, go back to, which platforms you're going to be working, be it Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, X, Twitter, whatever. So we had talked about finding people that were crushing it in your field. Okay. Well, one thing that you can do on most of these platforms is you can set up notifications to let you know when certain people are posting things. So what I would recommend, like let's say you're an electrician and you're following a guy on on X or on Instagram. Let's say Instagram. Okay. And there's an electrician, or maybe you're an electrician and you're following a plumber that's in your area, that's located in the same area of you, and he just kills it or she kills it on Instagram. Well, you set up that you get notified every time they post. That way, when they post something, you jump in there and you say, hey, this is a great point. I love the point you made. I love that the fact that you said this, and this. One other thing that I like to do, and add on your 2 cents. Always add more value. So that's one way to use these social media platforms to actually engage with people and be first, because we're all nosy people. Like, I love the comment section. So if I go to a post that's doing well, I always look at the first few comments. So if you set up those notifications to let somebody know, hey, Bob Hamilton Plumbing, that's a Kansas City plumber, by the way, just posted blah, blah, blah. Oh, you jump in there. Hey, they posted something about pipes freezing in the wintertime. Hey, that's a really good idea. Something else you want to think about when you're making sure to, unscrew your hoses and turn off your water before you leave town. Another thing you might want to think about is, blah, 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 as it pertains to electrical services that you provide, or roofing services that you provide, or whatever field you're in. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you want to go ahead and find that. And the other thing that is also ties along with that is the idea of finding relevant Facebook groups, Reddit groups, Discord, if it makes sense. And you have to be careful, because you don't want to get spammy in these groups, and you don't want to go in there, and you don't want to violate the terms of, it's not terms of service, but I forget the name of it, the rules of engagement of the group. Like, you don't want to go in there and just be selling yourself. This has to be authentic. It has to be real. You have to actually just become a part of the community and bring value through your comments, through your input, things like that. So don't just go in there and start hey, check out my website. I'm a lawyer that specializes in hit and runs, don't be spammy about it. You've got to be genuine, and you've got to understand hey, I'm just going to become part of this community. And then if people start seeing you in there, the internet's a social place. There's a lot of people that they will find you. If you've got a website, and if you've got an account, if you've got a Facebook page or an Instagram account or a TikTok account or whatever, the people are if you're making interesting comments on this stuff, they're going to notice you. They're going to check you out, because they're nosy. We're all nosy. We want to do that stuff, right? So think about your online presence. Think about the content side of it. That's obviously very important, but don't sleep on that engagement side, and don't sleep on the community side of it. There are communities out there that you can get into, in good faith, and become a good member of that community, and just make that community better by bringing the things you value to that community, right? And then you're just making yourself known to those people. So don't ever forget about that stuff. It's super, super important. It's incredibly effective, especially if you're just getting started out.